to Sangha out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Hương thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh. Thịnh chuyến diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. How much of the Blessed Noble and Perfectly Enlightened One? Nam mô Saranto Suchero Ye Alahadi Samyo Samputo Xie. Nam mô Darakta Daya Daya Alahade Tamyo Tambo Datoa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng she wei miao fa bai jie wan jie nan zao yu. 我今见我的手持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and the Venerable 6th Patriarch, Venerable YongHua, Venerable Left-Home people, and all good advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、六祖、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ ở Thượng Thiên Hóa, ký thầy cô, các vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Today is the 28th of June, the end of the month already, 2020. We are here at Way Mountain Temple in Rosemead, California, to investigate the 6th Patriarch Sutra. We're on slide 352 of chapter 7 on faculties and conditions, where he revealed how he taught these originally unenlightened monks, and then how the 6th Patriarch taught and helped them become enlightened using the certain teaching methodology. Actually, it's quite a treat now for me personally to revisit this, to see how he teaches his disciples. Okay, Sutra text. This is about the Venerable, I think, Chu Chang, right? What's his name? Huh? Anyone remember what his name is? Chu Dao. Yeah, Chi Dao. Koreans. Okay, Chu Dao. Okay, we are 352, right? Okay, Sutra text. Okay. Taking pity on them, the Buddha manifested in the space of a kasana the true bliss of nirvana, which has no mark of production and extinction. 佛名此故，名名彼故，乃是涅槃。Oh, you're going to read it in Chinese? I don't need to do that anymore. Is that how it works nowadays? And then you guys read it instantaneously. Okay. Then I should read the Chinese myself.
佛名此故，乃是涅槃真热，刹那无有生相，刹那无有灭相。
Okay. On the commentary on 353, number 3, slide 353, taking pity on them. So the Buddha is very compassionate. He sees that the living beings are suffering, and so he wants to relieve the suffering. And so he manifested in the space of a kasana, the true bliss of nirvana. So he came to our soul world, and he accomplished Buddhahood, and that's how he manifested the nirvana. And the bliss of nirvana, contrary to most people who talk about it, who read about it, talked about it, debated about it, they don't realize that this nirvana can be achieved when you're still alive. And you can achieve it in this as quickly as the Chinese, the Buddhist terminology has an analogy, as fast as for you to extend your arm. Okay? From your bent arm like this, you extend your arm. That's how fast you can achieve nirvana. Okay? That's very, very Mahayana. So, in particular, that's just an analogy, but actually, in actuality, it could happen in kasana. You can attain nirvana as quickly as fast as a kasana. Kasana is a very short time span. Okay, it's technically is about even faster than you blinking the eye. Okay, even much faster than you're blinking the eye. Okay, so there is an actual more accurate definition where I forgot, like 90 productions, 90 productions and annihilation, extinction within one kasana or something like that. You know, it's too fine for me. I cannot imagine that. Okay, so the Buddha showed to us, demonstrated to us that by practicing meditation, you can attain nirvana this lifetime, and this nirvana characteristic is that it's devoid of production and extinction. What is production and extinction? We keep on hearing about these terms in Buddhism. It's a scary terms. A lot of people keep on repeating those terms, production and extinction. We hear it everywhere. No production, no extinction. Like in Dharma request, we said non-birth, which is no production. Okay? So what is this production and extinction? Does anyone know? Yes, Black.
Production is like arising, like activity.
Arising activity?
Yeah,
okay.
And then extinction is like the ending of activity, and like nothingness, I think.
Nothingism. Wow, that's a new term. What's activity? That's very good. Activity is what? Is it like eating, like drinking, or?
Yeah, everything that's happening.
Okay. Anyone else? Very good. What is production? What is extinction? Anyone else? Yes. Black again.
Thoughts and non-thoughts.
Thoughts and non-thoughts. it sounds like orange has been preempted. Thoughts and non-thoughts. How can non-thoughts be extinction then? Come on, orange. How can non-thought be extinction? He's referring to production is thought. Non-thought is then extinction. Now he's saying, how can extinction be non-thought? Yeah.
Nothing can be produced if you don't have thinking.
Nothing can be produced if we have thinking.
Spirit all starts and ends.
Excuse these people, they're too savvy. They know too much. We demystify Mahayana terms, Buddhist terms, if you will. These are profound terms. Actually, they have the roots in how we function as human beings. Okay? Production and extinction refers to a state of nirvana. Okay? In nirvana, there's no production, no extinction at all. And why is there no production? And what is production of what? Extinction of what? Okay. Here's what happens. It's very simple. And this is, I don't know why the Chinese don't ever explain that. I never found any Chinese explanation on these terms. They simply are so happy to leave it so mystical so that people are so impressed. I was impressed for a long, long time. I said, my God, I don't dare even bring up production and extinction because I wouldn't know how to explain it if people ask. Okay? So that's when I first started teaching Chan meditation, I wouldn't be caught talking about production and extinction. But what it is exactly, basically, look at our state of mind. Okay, it refers to our state of mind. Our mind is always full of thoughts. Yes, the thoughts arises by themselves constantly. Yes, that is production. There are two kinds of productions: automatic productions, okay, and non-automatic productions, if you will. Okay, what's automatic productions? You just sit there and meditate, and all of a sudden say, "Oops, Big Mac." Feel like a Big Mac. That's automatic. Okay. It takes no effort. You naturally have a craving of something, gelato. For me, it's Big Mac. For some people, it's some whiskey. Okay, so these things naturally arise. Okay, without our intervention, and then we intervene as they arise. Okay, so for me personally, I say, "Oh, I have a craving for gelato, for example." Okay, that thought arises. And then the non-automatic is that, "Oh, bulgarinis." Okay, so you react to those thoughts. That's what I call non-automatic. Okay? So why are there a distinction between automatic and non-automatic? Automatic means that it's your retribution. You got this body. You will have the body right there. See that body? Okay? That body there is the habitat for you to undergo your retribution. Okay? So the production is that, "Oh, I feel so sleepy." See that? When you eat a full lunch, don't you feel like you have the thought arises, "Oh, I'm so sleepy." And you say, Right? That's what you do all the time, every day after lunch. Have you noticed that? You ate so well, even if you have some coffee and condensed milk, the thought still arises. That's called retribution. It's automatic because we, are subject to retribution. That includes the Buddha as well, by the way. Okay? The Buddha, when he comes here, this is what most people don't realize, he took on his body. And so he had these automatic thoughts arise because that's his retribution for taking on human body. Okay? So it's automatic. And the difference is that for us, when we're confused, we follow these thoughts. We react to these thoughts. Okay? Like today, if there's this thought of gelato, I said, wow, would be nice on a warm day like today. Okay, so we react to it because of what? Why? Is there a non-automatic or manual intervention, if you will, or human intervention, human-produced thoughts? Why? I'm dissecting it for you because we're discussing these Chan teachings, this very profound Chan teaching of 6th Patriarch. Okay, he explains to you the certain teaching. I can only explain to you at a much lower level. I explain to you why you have these production extinction. Okay, I cannot help you become enlightened like him, but I can tell you why you're not enlightened. Okay, so why do we produce thoughts, if you will, as these automatic thoughts arise in our mind? We catch them, we follow them. Okay, because orange.
It sparks a desire in us.
Very good.
You follow it.
Okay, you follow because of desires. You see, meaning that underneath you have these attachments to gelato. Yes? Have you anyone tried our famous Southern California gelato near where our brave Korean translator lives? She's only like 10 minutes away. We have to drive 40 minutes from here. Okay, life is not fair. What can we do? So, I highly recommend it, by the way. The guy has very bad temper. Nowadays with the COVID-19, he says, why do you bother me? So anyway, so we have these desires. That's why as soon as these thoughts arise, our desire make us react to these thoughts. All right? So, what is cultivation? Cultivation is to detect those things. You sit there and you meditate, and you see these thoughts arise. Don't be alarmed. They say it's normal because Brady is Brady. He's going to have these thoughts. One-arm cookies, my God, what a treat. Okay, that's natural. Okay, but don't follow these thoughts. Okay, meditation is about looking at those thoughts and not follow them, not create more thoughts on top. Don't create more productions, if you will. Okay, and that's only possible because I'm giving you a roadmap right now. After you hear this, you won't become enlightened, but you should at least become an arhat. What should you do? How can you manage to not follow these thoughts, Xian? What do you do?
Do nothing.
Huh?
Do nothing.
Sound like an arhat. No. What do you do? I'm giving you some free session. Usually these are paying sessions. These state secrets. What do? I just explain it to you. You have these non-automatic responses because of your deep attachments. All you have to do is recognize the attachment. The thoughts are very important. They arise. They say, oh wow, I'm attached to Bulgarini's gelato. Can't have that. Okay? So we say, I better get rid of this attachment. Chop it. And you get rid of the attachment to Bulgarini's gelato, what happens? You no longer have thoughts about Bulgarini gelatos, not gelatos, mind you. I still think about Baskin-Robbins gelato. You got that? So these thoughts are very important. When you meditate, they arise. It's called production. Okay? The production here is very important. The production points out to you your attachment, why these thoughts arise. You cause these thoughts to arise, to be produced because of your attachments. Yes, Orange.
Master, the whole field of psychology is about helping people identify automatic thoughts and teaching them not to follow them because that's the source of suffering.
Right, there you go. But however, you have to be careful. I'm just describing you a very simplified approach. Okay, there's much more effective ways to do it. But that's a different kind of session, you know. We must have our secrets, trust me. We can't, reveal everything. Anyway, so the point being that that's the same process. That's based on meditation, because the production of thoughts is called an outflow. Okay? You're dissipating your energy. Okay? You're thinking, and that's an outflow. Okay? That's an energy drain. So that's why you want to, if you, as a part of the meditation, this is why you become calmer and you become more focused, is because you don't follow these thoughts anymore. You're able to not follow these thoughts because you get rid of your attachments. All right? So that's the first phase. You get rid of the attachments. And eventually, miraculously, even automatic thoughts don't arise anymore. Isn't that cool? Okay? But first you need to get rid of your attachments. It's not talk, it's hard work. Because you say, it's okay. I think I get rid of Breyer's gelato, Baskin-Robbins gelato, but I keep Bulgarini's. Okay? Yes?
Master, does this work? Like if you recognize you're thinking about the gelato.
Yes.
And you don't follow it and go get the gelato. Does it work?
That's what I feel like doing, yeah.
If you just don't go, you stop yourself from going. Does that end up helping you get rid of the attachment?
Not for me. If I go, I cannot get rid of the attachment, but I don't mind.
But if you never go, you never follow the desire to go.
No, even if you don't go, it's a physical thing. The attachment is mental, it's not physical. Okay? So even if I don't go, actually the attachment becomes stronger. For me personally, I don't know about you. But so the point here is that you have to be honest with yourself. You see the key of that? Because when you see these thoughts arise, that's production. And you have to look at it and say, wow, that's my attachment. Instead of saying, oh, I'm not attached. Okay? Why are you accusing me of being attached? It touches someone's nerves, huh? Know someone like that? Just look around you. Okay? And that's why part of the process is to recognize the attachment, and you have to be honest that with yourself. You can say anything to anyone else but yourself. Okay? So that's why in cultivation, okay, my master taught you have not to lie. You see? Liars automatically fool themselves. Yes or no? Yes, internet.
Do demons and ghosts influence our thoughts?
Yes. Demons and ghosts, they plant thoughts in our mind. For example, it's a good question. For example, you get up in the morning, okay, your head is clear. And within seconds or minutes, you start feeling bad. Anyone? It happens to me. Oh, the three of us are, what is it called? No, we have depression. That's depression. Okay? So pay attention. If you're depressed, or your doctor tells you you're depressed, or the doctor doesn't know you're depressed, all you have to do is pay attention to what happens to yourself in the morning. You get up, your head is clear, you're happy, nothing in there, right? Right? You're free. And then within minutes, for me, seconds, you say, whoa. You see the world has so many problems, okay? You worry, okay? You're unhappy, okay? That's from them, not from us. Oh boy, now I have a lot of questions. 3 questions coming. Okay, we will not reveal your names, by the way. Yes, Green. But we can recognize your voice.
I don't care. I was wondering lately, I noted, well, it's actually not lately, it's been for a while, but I get sometimes, especially later in the day, kind of a feeling of like a heavy blanket over my head, where my thinking is dull, and almost my vision, if everything seems really dull.
Oh my God.
And it seems imposed from above.
Oh my God. You better go see a doctor.
What is that? And it goes away sometimes, depending. Like I can listen to happy music maybe, or something. It might clear for a while, but what is that a state, or what is that?
Yeah, it's like an app or a program being loaded into your mind, yes? It's like it becomes Mac OS, if you will. Okay? So everything goes through Mac OS. For me, it's BIOS. For you, it's Mac OS. For me, it's BIOS. Okay? It's the lowest level that you can ever encounter. It's loaded right there. Okay? And it stays there all day until you meditate. Okay? And that is, congratulations. That's severe depression. We finally identify what's been bothering you your entire life. Isn't that fantastic? Now go see a doctor. Yes, back there, black.
I was reading Master Shenhua's commentary on the 50 Skandha demon states.
Yes.
And he was saying that is because, well, he was talking about it's the ghosts and spirits and demons are yin energy,
Yes.
and it connects with your internal yin energy. So if you don't have that, and if you shine the light on the darkness, then there can't be any darkness anymore. But he says it comes from you.
Comes from me? No, I didn't have nothing to do with that.
Or it comes internally. The demons come internally.
Internally?
Yeah, he said they connect with the internal darkness inside of you.
Yeah, I wish he could be here and we can debate a little bit. Just wait a minute, Sir Green. We have an orange over here. It is an order. Yes, orange.
I noticed that the thoughts in the morning that you're talking about that come in after 5 seconds, they're always about failure. Failure. What you didn't get done yesterday, what you got to get done today, and the heaviness of that makes you not even want to get out of bed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Very good.
It goes right to the heart of your fear about yourself and your inadequacies.
It's not what like you think. It's just that we can't help it. These thoughts come in and they overtake us. That's it. Okay? That's a state of depression. Okay? And yes, now back to Green.
Hello? I noticed, though, and you mentioned it, that with meditation, though, it seems to oscillate. So if you meditate on a regular basis, it will decrease for some time and then it comes back, which gives me hope. With more meditation, can this be overcome eventually at some samadhi level?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The only way to overcome this is to shoot them. I mean, I'm sorry, and we PG-13 session here. No, seriously, the only way to overcome it is to meditate. There's no other way that I know of. No medication, no counseling, nothing. The medication and counseling is only temporary, only very, very, very narrow bandwidth of effectiveness, because they can go very deep. Okay, that's what I meant by bios. It's so deep that you don't even know it's there. And you, like Master Shenhua in the Srangama mantra, he says it's basically at the lowest level possible, they're there. That's why it's very difficult to detect them for you. Okay? That's why you need help. Seriously. If you have depression, you need help. Okay? We help from the experts to pros so that you don't harm yourself. And then eventually you need to get help from people to teach you meditation. And that's how you get rid of them. You learn to diminish their range of effectiveness to the point where one day you're able to be immune to them. They cannot load into your mind anymore. They cannot go in and out. They cannot load into your bios anymore. Okay? So it's kind of cool. It's absolutely, it's a very good point. Only meditation is the only remedy I know of. Okay? So anyway, going back to this production and extinction here. You see, the production here is just giving an example of depression is that because they get there and they produce these thoughts, okay, of negative thoughts. That's called production. That's automatic. It's not you, okay? It's someone else's, okay? Or if you're manic, okay? You chant and in the middle you suddenly change your pitch, okay? And that's manic. It's nothing you can do. Nothing I can do. Because when they do that, they afflict me so that I beat you up. That's why I can't do anything about it, because I'm very compassionate. Okay? So that's the point. That's the point is that through meditation, you spot the production of these thoughts quicker. You spot them, then they can no longer confuse you. All right? And because you can spot them, you don't follow those thoughts. These thoughts will naturally die by themselves. Those thoughts are very, very short-lived. That's it. It's a blip. It's you who fuel those thoughts. That's why they keep on coming back. There's a lot more going on, okay? More than the 50 Skandha demons. 50 Skandha demons, it's kind of, if you will, a little bit coarser level. I'm talking about the production at a much deeper level, much more dangerous than the 50 Skandha demons that my master explained. Okay? But you start there first, and you see deeper and deeper later. Okay? But don't think after you read the 50 Skandha demons, you know how they function. No, it's a lot more involved than that. Yes, Orange.
Master, I remember you saying, it's maybe years ago now, that these thoughts, they're not you.
They're not you.
They're not you.
Not at all.
And that helps to know they're not you, because you can dispute them the minute you recognize they're coming.
Right.
You don't have to, you can just say, no, that's
no one
that's not
told
me.
us. Right. Absolutely. Beautiful. No one told us that they're not us, because those thoughts come from the demons, from the ghosts. And you need to recognize that. Okay? Yes, Black.
So you're saying the original thought comes from the ghosts and the demons, and it comes externally.
They plant them in you.
Right, so just the instant, the first thought, it's external, and then we follow it.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Okay. They are, because our retribution, they're able to do that to us. Yes, Internet.
Is it good to recite the Buddha's name when we detect these thoughts?
You can recite the Buddha's name, but those thoughts will help identify, detect those thoughts. Yes. But sometimes they're so subtle that depending on your level, you won't be able to detect them. You can recite the Buddha's name all you want. Yes. Orange.
I have some patients who hear voices. They actually hear the voices of the ghosts and the demons telling them things about themselves.
Jump off the bridge.
You're worthless, and your life, end it now.
Yeah, you're such a loser. Yeah. Kill yourself. Yes. It hurts so much. Let's put an end to this. Mm-hmm. I know all those messages. I heard them all. In my prior life, I thought is it normal? Anyway, so that's production. Remember, so this production extinction is a very important concept. Thoughts are produced. You produce them. We worry about the part we produce them. Okay? So that's why we stop the production of those thoughts. Then those automatic thought productions will die by themselves. Okay? So cultivation is you first learn to control your production, your own non-automatic thoughts. This is why the Buddha taught about production and extinction. When you produce thoughts yourself, then you make sure you stop, and it will die. You stop, it will die. That's all you have to do. But the most important thing is to recognize why these thoughts are produced, because your attachments. I'm saving you about 10 years worth of your cultivation, by the way. If you're that good. If you're not good, might be 10 million lifetimes. Okay? Because they're so dangerous because we think it's ours. That automatic thought, those automatic thoughts, we think it's our own, but it's not. Okay, so that's why it's no production extinction in that sense. At our level, we can manage our production extinction, and you need to do that first before posture. It's a struggle. First is I'm too sleepy, then I'm too tired, and then I don't want to be here. Too many non-automatic productions. Oh, never mind. Too many issues. Okay, so that's why you first manage your own production extinction of your non-automatic thoughts. Then you have a chance to get rid of the automatic productions. That's the process. Okay, it's hard work. It's not something that you talked about like these meditation teachers or these scholars. They talk about production and extinction. They talk, it's a production of thoughts. Yeah, but how do you stop it? There's a methodology behind it. Okay, and once you understand it, once you're able to do it. Okay, then you don't talk about production and extinction anymore. Yes, Orange.
Can you gain a clue about the automatic thoughts? Because if you start feeling bad and you're not aware that you had thoughts connected to it, that there something went on?
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, it gets more detail from these professionals. Absolutely. You can speed up your process by dealing directly with those beings who are generating these automatic thoughts in you. That's possible. So that's why it's a little bit faster for you if you do that. Okay, I'm describing to you non-intervention, where actually you stop production of non-automatic and extinction of your non-automatic thoughts. Then eventually, you will have no more production. Okay, it's a natural evolution. But that's what the Hinayana people do. They go to, they meditate in the wilderness so that they can. It's easier for them to identify these productions, these non-automatic productions. For example, let's talk about eating. Okay, in the wilderness, you don't get to eat pizza. As far as I know, maybe Uber Eats is doing something about that. Who knows? But the point being that the Hinayana people, they narrow down their interaction with the environment. So either they stay in the hut, they stay behind four walls. That's how they narrow it down. So now that when these non-automatic thoughts arise, they can, I better deal with this. Okay? Because there's a fewer sources of non-automatic thoughts. Okay? So that's how they do it. So it's quicker for them to go into a cave, go into climb up on a tree, the Buddha disciples stayed under a tree, that kind of thing, and they don't cook, they didn't cook, they didn't sew, they didn't, so they minimize the interaction with the six dusts. Okay, and that's how they get to stop the production and extinction of non-automatic thoughts. And that's how they get there. Okay? For us, Mahayana, we're a lot faster. Okay? Because the way they do it is one by one, too slow for us. Okay? So that's why it's not something that the scholars understand, or the Hinayana people understand. But for us, we don't imprison ourselves. We don't limit our exposure. Actually, we open it all up. Okay, so it's a lot faster for us. And the other way is also another cultivation aid is also to deal with the sources of your automatic thought production. It's called your retribution. So you take care of your retribution. Instead of the Hinayana, they only do a brute force. Okay? Anyway, it's too detailed. But yes, it's possible. And it's recommended. Question?
But what's the difference between automatic and non-automatic thoughts?
I explained that first. When I first started, I explained that already. Automatic is something arises without you doing anything because of your retribution. Non-automatic is because you follow those automatic thoughts. You generate those thoughts yourself. All right? I know a little bit more detail for you, but some of you might appreciate this and save you some time. Yes? Raise your hand so that they can see you. They're in samadhi.
Yes, so that was, you explained production, correct? So you didn't explain extinction yet?
Extinction is simply letting those thoughts die. Don't do anything. Okay? Some of the coarser form of extinction is you take a knife and you cut it off, like Master Shenhua disciples like to teach them in meditation. That's Hinayana. You cut it off. Okay? We change it a little lightly. We use a Vajra sword, which is more Mahayana. We don't take a knife. Knife get dull. Maya swords never get dull. So we don't even have to sharpen them. Anyway, small details, which makes a huge world of difference. Yes?
So does that mean beyond production extinction means that the automatic thoughts don't even arise? So you can't even have extinction as well?
Have extinction of what?
The automatic thoughts, because they don't arise.
Eventually it won't arise anymore. Once you can effectively deal with your non-automatic thoughts.
So does that mean beyond production and extinction?
There's no more production, there's no more extinction. If you get rid of your non-automatic production and extinctions, okay, then the automatic will also be gone as well. Okay. What's confusing is most people cannot recognize the difference between the two. Anything else? Okay, so the state of nirvana is a state that has no production and extinction whatsoever, a state of stillness. Okay? Stillness is no movement. Movement is about no thoughts being produced, no thoughts being extinguished. That's movement. Okay? Chinese, 动, movement, to move. Okay? 动. Okay? 动. Okay? Whereas, so that's why nirvana has no movement. That's why they call still extinction, you will sometimes. All right? And that's possible. Anyone can experience that state. Okay? All right, 354, Sutra text. It has no production and extinction to be extinguished. That thus is the manifestation of tranquil extinction. There you go. Its manifestation cannot be reckoned, the so-called permanence and bliss.
"更无生灭可灭，是则寂灭现前。当现前时，亦无现前之量，乃为常乐。"
Okay, 355. Okay. In this nirvana, there's absolutely no production and extinction. Therefore, it's nothing to be extinguished. Okay? Nothing to be extinguished. Another name for it is tranquil extinction, meaning that tranquil or still. Okay? Still extinction. Extinction meaning that it's absolutely nothing there. Okay? Still non-movement. Still non-production. All right? And very important key thing. Its manifestation cannot be reckoned. This phrase is important. What does it mean? It cannot be measured, cannot be, in particular, conceived. What else? It cannot be explained, cannot be understood. It kills me. I had some of my disciples who are so smart. They always try to understand. They always ask why. They always says, I need to understand. I need to agree before I will commit to it. But you see, if you need to agree to what nirvana is, you need to agree to tranquil extinction. Whatever we tell you, okay? Manifestation means that we explain it to you. We try to explain to you, not try to relate to you. That's called manifestation. Okay, that's one aspect of manifestation. Okay, we manifest by explaining to you. Yes, that's verbal manifestation. Okay, even if we do explain it to you, you cannot understand it. Oh, someone is thinking, so Mahayana is, after all, is still mystical.
Well, that too, Master, but to get to the point of tranquil extinction, are we not inviting ourselves to not ever have a thought again?
No, not at all. Don't worry about that. As long as you have a body, you still will have thoughts of gelato. Okay? Don't worry. It's not what you think. Okay? So it's kind of interesting how great Master Huineng explained permanence and bliss and related to tranquil extinction. Okay? He says, many tell you this production extinction, whatever we explain to you, however we draw it up for you, however we elaborate for you, okay? You cannot comprehend it. Meaning what? Stop trying to understand. It's beyond understanding. The Patriarch says so. Lots of problems here today. Yeah. That's what happens when you open a can of worms. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Internet.
This is in Chinese.
Oh my God, I don't know Chinese. Forget it. Yes, go ahead.
遇到任何事情都以无常无我来看，所有已发生的皆有原因，来了就来了，走了就走了，没有烦恼，也没有所谓的快乐，就是这个吗？
It sounds like it, but it's not what it is. It's not like that. It's not what you think. Okay? This is a problem I have with those Chinese people. I bring up production extinction, they will have at least a ton of materials about production and extinction, and they can quote all these beautiful Chinese expressions. Yes? You talk to any Chinese person who's been studying Buddhism, as soon as you mention something, this production and extinction, they always have a quote. Oh, this from this sutra, from the other sutra, from the Buddha, from the Bodhisattva. And it happened to me so often. And and I said, is that what it is? And what can you do? Huh? Sir, what can you do? Because the Patriarch says, whatever I tell you cannot be reckoned. No matter how smart you are, no matter how smart I am, okay? It cannot be reckoned. You may be a genius, cannot be reckoned. Isn't that scary? Blue. What?
If they say, is that what it is, you'd have to say, no, it's not.
It's not? So the Buddha has been lying to us? That's the next reaction they have. That's what they tell me. So what I've been learning my entire life, my culture, is wrong?
You can say the words are not it. You say the words are not it.
No, you don't say that. I finally know how to do it.
Okay.
You say, it's not what you think.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
It's not what you think. Okay?
Because you can't think it.
That's right. Nor can I explain it. Okay? Yeah. So the answer to the Chinese thing, the answer to the Chinese comment, I'm not sure I understand all of it, but from what I heard so far, from what I could understand so far, my answer is, it's not what you think. Okay? I don't know how to say that in Chinese. Hey, Chinese person, it's not what you think.
这不是你所想的。
Okay? So this is the weakness of the Chinese system, by the way. That's why very few of them become enlightened anymore. Because they think they know. That's the biggest problem. They think they know. I'm making sure you know, you're so convinced that you're stupid. Okay? So you say, I'm stupid, I'm going to stop trying to understand. It's that simple. Stop trying to understand. Just do it. Okay? And this is so anti-intellectual. This is so anti-education. We get our education in order to learn how to think. And if you want to become enlightened, you have to stop thinking. So St. Joseph doesn't like to think. He has a much better chance to become enlightened than the next scholar person. Because he's too, oh, I can't think. See? Or that troublemaker. We will send him to school very soon for him to learn to think. So that's why the people who are so educated, they're so smart, they really struggle with Mahayana. Because they need to understand. They demand to understand. Yeah. All right. The so-called, back to slide 355, the so-called permanence and bliss. Meaning, once you reach a state of tranquil extinction, it can be permanent, okay, and it's very, very blissful. That's the big prize. Okay? If those of you who are looking for happiness, you are pursuing your happiness, pursuing to be happy, okay, you will never find happiness. But if you practice this, you will find true happiness in the form of true bliss. It's permanent. Okay? That state of happiness will not change, no matter what. On rainy days, you still feel blissful. I think. All right? When you're hungry, you still feel blissful. When you're thirsty, you still feel blissful. When your throat is hurting, you still feel blissful. All right, next, 356, Sutra text. The bliss has neither an enjoyer, nor a non-enjoyer. How can it be called one substance with 5 functions?
此乐无有受者，亦无不受者，其有一体五用之名。
So the 6th Patriarch is destroying that monk's Chu Tao's attachment. Chu Tao's, he's so convinced, just like many well-read investigators of Buddhism. They read so much, they know so much, like the scholars, and so you open your mouth, whatever you say, they say, "Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. There's an I, there's a no." That spells trouble. So the 6th Patriarch cleverly, okay, figures out how to destroy that. So that he first explained, there's a nirvana, okay? Yes, I know you know about nirvana already, but it's not what you think. Okay? And then that's so clever, okay? He says, not what you think. I put it in terms of English for you. It's not what you think. That's what he called cannot be reckoned with. Remember? It's not what you think. But the Chinese are a lot more poetic. They are much more, I would say, mystical. Cannot be reckoned. No, it's not what you think. Okay? And then, how come we jump to here? Where are we? Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. Sorry. Okay, wrong way. It cannot be reckoned with. And then he further says that this is so beautiful. The way he constructs is that, first of all, your knowledge is nonsense. Your thinking is nonsense. And he says, furthermore, it has no enjoyer or non-enjoyer. There's no one there. Okay? If there's no one there, how can whatever that it be called one substance with the 5 functions? Okay, this is a lot of BS from all the scholarly knowledge that they heard of the word substance. They have no idea what the substance means. Okay, and they combine with the 5 functions and so forth because it's all straight from the scriptures. Okay, that's why this is how the 6th Patriarch destroyed those premises in Chu Tao, in that monk. All right? So basically, there's no one there. The bliss experience is no one to really enjoy it, or no one who's really not enjoying it. Okay, this simple logic. Okay, and if there's no one there, how can there be a substance? Okay, so he's destroying all the premises of Chu Tao's stance, Chu Tao's position. All right. Anyway, it's just logic for someone who is uneducated. It's kind of cool. Sutra text. Worse. How can you say that nirvana suppresses all dharmas, causing them to be forever unproduced? That is to slander the Buddha and defame the Dharma.
何况更言涅槃尽服诸法，令永不生，斯乃谤佛毁法。
You don't do it in Vietnamese already? Vietnamese is so fast. Now you guys are really making me work. Before I only have to go 2 or 3 slides per 2 hours. Now I have to go like 20 or 30 or 40 slides. It's like the increased workload is disproportionate. So it's impossible for me to enjoy the bliss of nirvana as we read about it. This is not fair. Something I cannot reckon with. Worse yet, how can you say nirvana suppresses all dharmas, causing them to forever be unproduced? Again, he follows logic and says, your logic is like this. He says, your logic is nonsense. Okay, because basically nirvana has no production. Okay, then why is there any need to suppress at all? Okay, there's nothing there. There's no need to suppress. And if you think like that, you basically are slandering the Buddha, meaning that you are saying that the Buddha is a liar, okay, and the Dharma he talked about is nonsense, okay. Well, that's what happens. Yeah. Buddha is not beyond being slandered either by his own disciples. It's hard to become a Buddha, let me tell you. All right, next, 360. Sutra text, listen to my verse.
听吾记曰。
Okay, excuse me, I need to mess with my there you go, now it will not go off. Okay, because sometimes the people sit back there and they block the view of my clock, so I cannot tell when I'm supposed to stop. I can't wait to stop. Long time. Okay. It's 9:42 in Lisbon, 5:42 a.m. in Seoul. Very international. Listen to my verse. Sutra text. Supreme, great nirvana is bright, perfect, permanent, still, and shining. Deluded common people call it death. Externalist teachings hold it to be annihilation.
无上大涅盘，原名常寂照，凡愚谓之死，外道直为断。
All right. 362. Commentary. Supreme great nirvana is bright. So he says supreme, meaning it's unsurpassed, meaning that it's nothing greater of the accomplishment. Okay, and the great nirvana is the state of enlightenment, not the small nirvana of the Hinayana vehicle. The Hinayana vehicle will bring you to the small nirvana. The great nirvana refers to the nirvana without residues of the bodhisattva vehicles. Okay? It is perfect, permanent, still, and shining. Okay? It's perfect because it has, what is perfect? It has no more problems. Okay? Can't improve on that. Okay? It's perfect. It's permanent. Will never change. It's still the nature, the core of the state of great nirvana is stillness. This is why the Chinese martial artist says stillness will defeat movement. Okay, so that's why in warfare they stress defense. Yes, defense is stillness. In football, you win Super Bowls by defense. Well, you're not Super Bowl people. Anyway, boring. So you have the perfection here. You look for perfection. It's nothing more perfect than nirvana. If it's permanent, it's still, okay, and it's shining. Okay, shining here is just so bright that because it's no shadow, it's nowhere to hide. Okay, nowhere for the ghosts to hide. That's why they don't want to come near you anymore. Okay, that's one of the reasons. When you start illuminating, the ghost is it's too bright for me. So more of them will leave, will move. Okay. So far so good. And deluded common people call it death. Okay. So people look at stillness. They call stillness as death. They're scared of death. I remember I started meditating. I sat in a classroom, empty classroom of university, and I sat so still that a Caucasian guy walked in and said, "Are you dead? How come you don't move?" Very blunt. Just scare me. Move. Do something. So it's death. And externalist teaching hold it to be annihilation. This is what the externalists are confused about. Okay? They have a glimpse of stillness, but at a very shallow level, and they think annihilation. Okay? Okay? Any questions? 363, Sutra text. All those who seek the two vehicles regard it as non-action. Ultimately, these notions arise from feeling and form the basis of 62 views.
诸求二圣人，目以为无作，尽属情所寄，62见本。
This is where the Chinese, I'm happy that I kept the Chinese because the English translation left quite a bunch of very important information. Okay, let's go to that in slide 364. The people, yes. Internet.
如果看一个事物看不到它是它了，那也不是吗？
Oh, that's too complicated Chinese. Translate, Chinese people. Usually when I learn Chinese, I ask, excuse me, where is the restroom? Not like this. So that's why I apologize. I need help.
If you see something, cannot see it as what it is, isn't that it so?
How can I say it in a way that we're not too offensive? It's not the way you think. No, I mean, no. It's because your sense organs, when she mentioned, is a he or she? When this person mentions seeing, okay? Seeing is one of the 5 sense organs, 6 sense organs, okay? That seeing is false. So you use the false. You depend on the false. You depend on the seeing. You depend on the thinking, which is also false. Therefore, you're handicapping yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot right there. Because you insist on seeing. For example, engineers insist on facts, on data. That's seeing. Yes, I need to see it. I need to, see the graph. I need to see the tables. Okay? And because of that insistence on seeing, on the facts, okay, on the truth, you will never be able to break through. Because you depend on a false sensory organ. This is false. Whatever you see is not what it appears to be. Does it help, or does it have to be translated into Chinese? You did it already. Very good. Okay. No follow-up? When I talk about, yes, follow-up question. Yes, Green.
With engineering, though, what's strange about all this is that when confronted with problems, the solution cannot sometimes be intuited, and the path forward, there seems to be a path forward, except you're right. Other engineers will look at you and say, well, how do you know that? We need data to prove this, but often that is used as an excuse not to move forward. And so this battle between intuition and facts is a very strange one in my profession.
Yes. In your profession, in engineering profession, in scientific profession, you base everything on the facts. But sometimes it's self-defeating because you yourself depend on empirical evidence to come up with a theory. So if you insist on facts, then you will will not be able to make the discovery quickly enough. Yes, eventually you have plenty of data to come up with a theory behind it, but it's too slow.
Yeah, it's slow. You often have to do a little side experiment without anyone seeing it, and then, aha, see, look at facts.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So it's not, it's the intuition that the word you use is intuition. That's where you stop thinking. That's what is called intuition. It doesn't come from thinking. You just know. You just have a hunch. Okay, it's based on really nothing concrete. Okay, and more often than not, I feel that the great scientists depend on that a lot more than are willing to admit. So, for example, Einstein wrote his important discoveries, those papers, when he was around 32 or younger, around that time frame. Okay, and he had no data whatsoever. It took us, what is a scientist? How long did it take us? Like centuries later, yes, or 30, 40 years later, when we have the measurements, the laser instrumentations and so forth, before we can verify that. Okay, so all Einstein had was just intuition. Okay, so that's the truth of science. It's only the people who are really very limited are always insistent on data, data, data. You need to be fearless, like our leader. And sacrifice a few lives. Some people are seething as soon as I mention our fearless leader's name. Instinctively. Anyway, let's go back to the interesting thing here on slide 364. Okay, now, he says, all those who are seeking the two vehicles. Okay, it's very important. This applies to the sound hearers only, the two vehicles only. Okay, so be careful. This is so Masahuineng-ish. Okay, he says these people, their eyes, okay, move, see it, regard it, okay, erroneously. 以为, erroneously. See, they didn't translate 以为. Chinese 以为 is erroneously. Okay? They mistakenly think, they mistakenly regard it as non-action. So that's why I would change the English translation a little bit. This is horrible because this person clearly does not understand the sound hearers' limitations. Okay? And probably Chinese, because they want to keep it mystical so that people cannot attack it. Okay. Regard it, should be, I would change, allow me to change it, regard it. Mistakenly okay, that's how I would translate it. I'd say mistakenly okay, agree, disagree. My English corrector. Is English okay? Say it again. Mistakenly regarded as non-action. It's fine. Thank you. Now we can move on. Okay? So, 木以为无作. That's what the Chinese says. That's what I explain here. The two vehicles, those are the search for the truth, for these adherents to the two vehicles, meaning Arhat vehicle and Pratyeka Buddha vehicle. They mistakenly, okay, look at it as non-action. Okay? Any questions about this? This is very, very technical for the two vehicle. And this is the essence of their problems. Okay? Nirvana, they look at nirvana as non-action. That's why they're limited. They only see the shallow part of nirvana. Okay? Because of that. Okay? But ultimately, they don't know that these notions, these ji, these calculations, these conclusions, okay, arise from feelings. These insights arise from feeling, these understanding, these deductions. Okay? These calculations. Okay? So notion is not that accurate up in the translation. The ji here has in my limited Chinese, ji here is a Chinese character source for notion. The ji here means calculation. There's certain mental activities there, mental work there. You need to deduce, you need to think. Yes? That's what we learn to do with our education. Yes, Orange.
Master, do you mean that those, when you're saying who are mistakenly having this problem, you're talking about the fourth stage Arhat and the Pratyeka Buddhists?
Yes.
And then my other question has to do with nirvana. Did you say that nirvana is more than non-movement or something like that?
Nirvana is like the Patriarch describes it, and eloquently, judiciously elaborated in the forms of its nirvana is permanent, it is blissful, it is still, meaning non-production, non-extinction, and it has no self.
And then you said earlier, you said that nirvana can be experienced in this world. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Back there, Black.
So it says that the mistake the sound hearers and the Pratyeka Buddhas and the Arhats make is that they believe it can only be achieved when nothing is happening, right?
Wu zuo, meaning that there's non-action. You're not creating karmas.
So you can't walk or anything and be in nirvana is what they think, right? But would you say that you could be in nirvana when you maybe like, I don't know, go to the grocery store or take a walk or something? Or would you have to be completely still?
You have to ask an Arhat and those two vehicles. I don't subscribe to their approach. That's why I cannot describe to you those details.
I'm asking, would you say that you can be performing an action and in a state of nirvana as well.
Performing action in a state nirvana. Nirvana is no action at all. It's not action. Okay? Yes, Green. So, see, you're trying to understand, and I can't explain it to you. It's not what you think.
Oh.
Yes, Green.
I thought maybe he was referring to samadhi in motion.
Samadhi in motion, nirvana? No, samadhi in motion is ballet. All right. No. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so can you engage in fencing while you're in nirvana?
Can you do fencing and in nirvana?
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you kill your opponent, you're in nirvana. This is better than nirvana. You say, "Oh, I'm the champion." It's so cool. I know I'm making fun of it, but there's a little bit of truth in there, because you can, at that skill level, you can go into fencing and defeat all your opponent, just like that. Okay? So it's so cool. To me, it's so cool. It's almost like nirvana. Oh, well. Okay? You see, you guys are trying to understand it. Just listen. Memorize it. It's not something you can understand, you can relate to. This is why. Is it like? Is it what, those Chinese say? Is it like that? And says, yes and no. Yes to the Buddha, no to you. Yes? Anyone else? Oh, Black, finally. Be patiently waiting for Black to speak up.
Emitofuo, the nirvana here that we are talking about, that the patriarch just explained it very elegantly. Are we talking about a nirvana state that is only available in Buddhahood, or are we talking about a nirvana state where other persons here can have it with us while we are still living as a person in this world?
You want a sales pitch or you want the truth?
True. Who cares about the sales pitch?
I remember someone telling me, was it in Chinese? Master Xu Yun, you quoted Master Xu Yun, remember? Can you say that in Chinese again, please? You have that? Someone asked Master Xu Yun, okay? I think similar to the theme of Nirvana. You got? And someone asked him about something like, did you find it? Go ahead. Pressure.
So I'll read it in Chinese first. 有人问开悟以后是不是什么事都没有了？不是，虚老在世的时候，我们问他，老和尚，你老人家问开悟以后，那不是万事大吉了吗？
是什么？万事大吉了？
万事大吉。
大吉。
老和尚讲，没有。开悟还好，开悟以后事更多。
事分多。Translate.
So basically, they asked Master Xu Ying that after you became enlightened, isn't that everything becomes all auspicious? And the old monk replied, no, after you became enlightened, everything is okay. After you became enlightened, you have a lot more things to worry about. 事更多。
Does that answer your question?
No, because I don't see how that is. The question is how that, are we talking about enlightenment as the same as nirvana? Or are we talking about the nirvana that is only existed in once you reach Buddhahood? That's the question, I guess.
I don't know. Answer. Help her. Help me out. Blue. What?
Too hard to figure that out.
You
Too hard.
complaining again?
I'm just saying that you can't answer the question.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, I'll speak for myself. I can't answer it.
Okay, so why don't you find out? Here's my answer. Okay? It's you go into the territory where I hesitate to tell you more, because then you are no longer curious enough to find out for yourself. To me personally, I'm curious. I was curious. I said, is it what they say? Is it like what they say? And that drove me and say, I want to, I'm very curious as a person. So I tried. So it's the engine for the fasting, for the for the hard work and the pain and enduring suffering. But if you say, why bother sitting in full lotus? Why bother fasting? Because eventually it becomes zero anyway. So why bother? And that's the disadvantages of knowing too much. Okay? I hear too much nonsense from the scholars, from the teachers, from the knowledgeable people. Okay? And it's not the way they think at all. And that's why, actually, I'm very grateful that the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas chose to stop. They know where to stop instead of going too far. I went into the details for you today about production and extinction because I want us, Mahayana in the West, to be not a mythical thing, not to be a bunch of words. Okay, a bunch of notions, a bunch of ji, a bunch of calculations. Okay, there's a way to get there, and that's what the Buddhist teaching is about. And you need to want to get there. And if we tell you too much, you say, "What's the point? I know it already. I don't need to find out. Well, I don't need to work hard." Because when you hear the word "I know," you're in big trouble already. These people are in trouble already. I know. Is it like? Okay? Because I know what it is. Okay? Is it like? It's another form. I know. And that's why we don't know how to address those things. We don't want to address those things sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes, Blue.
Yeah, that I know. Often what they know is just words. It's just words, and they don't know anything.
You have a problem when you hear the word "I know," or "is it like?" Because there's an I, there is a no. The two things are so wrong already.
Already, right.
Okay, so how do you address, whatever you say is they say, "I don't know about this. I disagree." It's not much you can do. Anyway, it's from teacher perspective. Okay, and these calculations, these deductions, not notions. Notions is not necessarily derived. Ji here is derived. The Chinese is very precise. The ji here has deductions, has calculations in there. Okay? Notions could be instantaneous. Could be. Whereas ji here is actually you deduce it, you calculate it. Okay? All these calculations arise from feelings, emotions. Yes? And form the basis of 62 views. In Chinese, in Indian Buddhism, there are 62 views of, are called 62 deviant views, erroneous views. And Master Hsien Hua explained it. He likes to explain it. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, on 365. I don't care to know what they're about, frankly. All my entire life of practicing Buddhism, I got to this point, and he keeps on harping about 62 views. I don't know what he's talking about. He says, the Skandha is big, I am contained within the Skandha. I say, okay. Number 2 view, I'm big and the Skandha is contained in me. Okay, whoopee, wonderful. The heap is me. Okay. And number 4, I'm not the heap. Okay. It sounds like 4 different cases of logic to me. Anyway, so anyways, this is how the Chinese logic. For us Westerners, it's kind of childish. And then 366. Yes, sir. Huh?
That's India. They dissect things.
That's Indian, yes.
They dissect things in the most minute detail.
The Indians, when Shakyamuni Buddha brought Buddhism to India, he had to deal with the 62 deviant views, non-Buddhist views, if you will. They're so erroneous. Okay, I can go a little bit for you, explain a little bit for you. Actually, there's a beautiful logic behind it, but I kind of make fun because even if you know, so what? They're deviant views, who cares? See, I'm very lazy. I'm not like you. He said, can I learn about the 62 deviant views? I said, it's deviant. Why do I need to bother learning about them? I don't need more luggage. I have enough deviant views in myself. I don't need to know about the Indian deviant views. You see my logic? I'm different. I'm wired differently from you. You know, you like to know about 62 deviant views. I was never interested, seriously. So that's why I say the heap is big and I'm contained within the heap. So they separate the heap from I. And the heap, the Skandha, the ego is contained in the Skandha. Number 2, I'm bigger than the ego. Okay. Number 3, the ego is just me. And number 4, I'm not the ego. I'm not the heap. I mean, the Skandha is me. And number 4 is the Skandha and me are 2 separate things. Okay. Those are all deviant views. Okay, and then on 366, it says, you have 4, basis of 4, and you apply it to the 5 heaps of form, feeling, perceptions, activities, and consciousness. You multiply it, make it 20, and 20 multiplied by the 3 periods of time, that's 60, plus you add the permanence and nihilism, whatever, annihilation. So that's 62. Okay. You can follow that. See, typical engineer. Can you slow down a little bit? Can we discuss this? This is Master Hsien Hua's teaching. It won't help you become enlightened. I don't care. Because, listen, before I answer that, I'm very lazy. Why do I need to learn about the deviant views? Honestly. I want to learn about enlightenment. Why do you raise your hand? go ahead. Making fun of you. Green.
I think you kind of answered my question, because I read the 50 Skandhas chapter in the Shurangama, and it talked about the delusional views, and I guess that as you go through the different fruitions of arhatship, you transcend, I guess, the various delusional views.
Yes.
But there was no mention of what they were, that I could see. I mean, they were sort of vaguely referred to. And then that begged the question, I mean, do we need to know the details of all of this to get through it?
No, you don't. The more you know, the more garbage there is in your brains. Be like a boy. Okay? You know enough already. Put it that way. Okay? And now you need to shed. It's not about adding, it's about shedding. Shedding the things that you no longer need to know. Okay? Education is you accrue garbage, and society rewards you for that accrual, the accumulation. Enlightenment is you lighten the load. That's what's been missing. Okay? All right. We still have a little bit more time. 367, Sutra text. Wrongly establishing false names. What is the true, real principle? Only one who has gone beyond measuring penetrates without grasping or rejecting.
妄立虚假名，何为真实义？唯有过量人，通达无取舍。
368. They're wrongly establishing false names. What is this referring to? Okay, as we debate, as we try to explain it to you, all we can do is establish some names. And these names are what they are. These names are simply false names. They simply are an expedient. Okay? What happened is that the Buddhist teaching has plenty of false names. Okay? So what happened is that these scholars pride themselves on learning and knowing a lot of these false names. What they don't realize, these false names are not designed for them to know. It's designed for them to verify, not to know. It's just a false name. Once you understand, you truly understand, then you realize these names are false. They don't matter at all. If these names are false, why should we even bother learning about the 62 deviant views? Let me ask you. It seems to be so inefficient. Chinese style, Indian style. Anyway, they wrongly establish these false names, these empty names. Okay, just words. They're only words. Yeah. So, what is then the truth? What is real? What can we take as real? Okay? How do we know that something is real and something is true? Okay? The Master Huineng says, only the ones who has gone beyond measuring, okay, is a person who can know the true and the real principles. All right? Meaning that this person no longer 量 evaluates, assesses. Meaning what? When you see the word evaluate here, measuring here, okay, it's measuring of plus and minuses, of benefits versus losses, gains versus losses. Yes? So that's what 量 is about. You measure, okay? You evaluate, you assess. Okay, this person no longer evaluates. You see, that's the beautiful teaching from the patriarch, from the 6th Patriarch. Okay? This is the umbrella. And my master came to this country, what does he say? Take a loss. Okay? If you say, don't measure, don't evaluate, it's still too vague. The beautiful thing that Master YongHua taught us, and you need to be very grateful. And today seems like another big deal going on at my Master's temple, remembering him, reminiscing him. Okay? And in honor of that, let me tell you, his genius, and the Chinese genius, and you need to give it to the Chinese, and this is beautiful. If you talk about don't measure, don't evaluate, it's counterintuitive. Okay? It's still too vague. And the Chinese, the way they explain it, it's beautiful. They said, take a loss. Just take a loss. Are you willing to take a loss? If you're willing to take a loss, you no longer worry about a loss, right? No matter how big or small it is. And then you don't want to worry about gains either, because you were willing to take a loss already. Who cares about the gains? And that's a Chinese genius. That's a patriarch's genius. Okay? Yeah. So instead of learning about all these false names and these principles and these theories, the patriarchs taught us to take a loss. Don't justify. Take a loss. Yes, you're wrongly accused. Life's unfair to you. But take a loss. Right? Oh, and that's that person. He's gone beyond measuring. He no longer measures. I don't care. If I make $1 million tomorrow, wait, bad example. Never mind. I don't have any example that makes sense to you. That person who penetrates, 通达无取舍, it penetrates without any grasping, any rejecting. Meaning what? Never mind about penetrates, but first try not to grasp, try not to reject. Learn about 62 deviant views, because you're rejecting 62 deviant views. Okay? I looked out. You see that? So, it's a state of mind where you are not grasping, you're not rejecting. In particular, you don't reject a teaching because you don't like it. That's very important. You don't reject it because you don't understand. Okay? And in particular, you don't grasp, you don't hang on to it because you believe it's to be true. Because God said so. Because Buddha said so. You still don't grasp. It's something that the two vehicle people cannot do. They grasp the Buddha's words and reject anything that does not conform to the Buddha's words. That's why they cannot penetrate. And that's a problem with they know too much. They know way too much. Okay? And they become confused. They said, no, this is not consistent with my Buddha's teaching. Okay? You want to conform the Buddha's teaching? Go with Hinayana. I know today I'm talking a lot about things you don't understand. It doesn't matter. You probably, most of you disagree because you're Hinayana. I don't care. Okay? I dissect it for you because it's the key is not to insist. Grasping is to insist. Okay? On something like the Buddha's teaching, or the words you read, or a scientist says. Okay? Be like our fearless leader. Who cares about science? Okay? Much better control. Yeah. Okay? Because when you make a face, that you're grasping and you're rejecting. And so you grasp onto these notions, these things that are not helpful. Okay? So what do you do then? Grasping and rejecting? If you don't grasp, how are you going to get there? You don't reject. Just like I rejected 62 deviant views. How am I going to get there? Never mind. Time is up. Forget about that question. It's too hard to answer. It takes too long to explain to you. Okay, strike that. Forget it. Okay, time is up, folks. Just remember, don't grasp, don't reject. Okay, embrace it all. That's Mahayana. Mahayana is about all embracing. Okay, if you are able to practice all embracing without rejection, without grasping, okay, accept it. 隨緣無邊，無邊隨緣. Accord with condition and not change yet accord with conditions. I explained yesterday during a Chan lecture. Okay, and that's our lineage, way of cultivation. Okay, and then you will be able to penetrate. You will be able to reach great depths that the Hinayana cannot. Okay, yeah. So even within Buddhism, those who reject are not Mahayana. Those who says, I am American Wei Yang, is not Mahayana. It's grasping. Okay? Okay, next time, let's try 369. Thank you, everyone. Let's do the rebirth transference. We have a busy day today.